Another year, baby, and we already got this goddamn AI baby to deal with. BB26 is here and in full swing. We've gotten a taste of what to expect from this cast, and I have no idea what is going on. This cast is cracked, but in the best way possible. I don't want to dive too much into my opinion of the season because I will have plenty of videos in the future talking about this season as well as my big end of season review. But just know this season and cast is giving 5-star entertainment, and I'm going to briefly explain why. Every year, Big Brother has one of two metas that form. You either have one big alliance form early on and they pick off everybody not in the big alliance while they all run around like headless chickens, or you have two different alliances form that begin to clash. A split house, as you would see in BB6, BB20, and briefly in BB25. But this season is taking those metas and flipping them on their head in a positive direction for Big Brother. Those in a good position in this game see the meta, and instead of trying to fully commit to creating that big structure, they're doing everything in their power to avoid that from happening. Or, at the very least, are very good at snooping out that meta. The reason why the meta works so often is because you have half of the house who has no idea what's going on and are oblivious to the big alliance. But most of this house is not oblivious, and they are very keen on sniffing out that structure. And those who are oblivious are giving us great television. And Kenny's also there. And the true cherry on top is that while I think there are some solid players, nobody has jumped out to have a real stranglehold on this house or this game. Shit is gonna be fluid, and shit is gonna be messy. So it's truly delivering across the board, and I could not be more excited to see how it plays out. But for me today, I'm going to be focusing on sleuthing out who the fuck is winning BB26 based on 1 week of gameplay and feeds. That is 15 house guests with a hypothetical chance to win this game that I will be ranking from 15 to 1 as I describe why I rank them in that certain position until we reach the player in my number 1 spot, aka the person I think is going to win from this point forward. But I do have some surprises along the way, like my preseason picks and my picks that I made after the 2-night premiere event. So I'll have both of those lists to also compare to this one to see how my feelings have changed and fluctuated throughout the time of the season. It's a fun experiment, a fun video. Subscribe to the channel and like the video if you want all the Big Brother tea this summer, plus any reality TV to ever exist. It's going to be on this channel. I'm here for a fun ride, but let's go and try our very best to dissect this messy ass house and see who I believe is going to become the winner of Big Brother 26 by summer's end. Now, with one person already being evicting, we have 15 people to rank, and at number 15, the very bottom of the list, the person I promise you is not winning this game under any circumstances is Angela Murray. The first HOH of the season, so good on her for winning the first HOH, and then completely shitting the bed at every subsequent situation. Getting into unnecessary fights all the time, being super paranoid all the time, declining alliances, ruining alliances, creating structures and then blowing them up for fun. Every single thing Angela has done in this game has been the wrong step except for winning the first HOH. She's a super fan. She has so much heart, and I saw that in her preseason interview where she was actually ranked number 11 on my list before anybody entered the house. But after seeing her on night 1 and after night 2, she instantly shot down to last place on the rankings. I had no faith instantly just from watching her on those 30 minutes that she was on screen for. She was way in over her head. Strategically, there's some soundness there. She understands the game. She's a fan of the game. But in action, none of that is clicking, and that has just been proven on the feeds that despite winning the first HOH, she's put herself in the worst position in the house, and she may not go this week. She may not go the next week, but she is going home soon. We have to prepare for it. It's inevitable. She's not winning this game, and I would bet every single dollar I have ever earned in my life and will ever earn in my life. Angela, your time is coming. Number 14 sucks. The only person I'm not enjoying on the season, that is Kenny Kelly, the undercover cop, who is very obviously an undercover cop, and he just sucks. I mean, come on, willingly throwing away your game for Matt Matt, the person you connected to because his dad is a cop, but Matt doesn't know that you're a cop, so there's no reason for Matt to be loyal to you. And Matt was willingly campaigning against Kenny. That's a whole thing. Even though Kenny probably tried in the competition, and even though Kenny is probably not going home this week, Kenny's expendable to everybody. He has no alliances. Nobody cares for him after Matt left. He's gonna go home eventually. Somebody is going to want an HOH where they get no blood on their hands, and that is going to lead to Kenny going home. Loser. Yeah, and he's a cop, so I don't really care for him. He can go home. He sucks. If Angela didn't exist, he'd be easily at the bottom, but he's just above by default. And I'm gonna wrap up this dumb, and super dumb trio with Lisa being at number 13. Yeah, Lisa sucks. I was a little higher on her after the premiere and in the preseason than I think most people were, but no, I'm kidding. I very quickly understood why people were very low on her. She just wants to be the main character so bad. She thinks everything revolves around her and everybody's telling her the truth at all times. She doesn't have a single alliance. She's probably going home this week. And how is she a chef and her food sucks? Get this glitter girl out of my face. She's iconic, don't get me wrong, but as a game player, she's atrocious. Probably the worst of the season, and this season has Kenny and Angela on it. The only reason she's higher is because I see more potential for her if she manages to survive this week, but she's probably not, and if we're being realistic, she's going very, very soon. So, Lisa also sucks. These bottom three were the easiest bottom three of my life, so, let's get a move on. Number 12 is somebody who annoyed me in the preseason, they annoyed me on the premiere, they annoyed me night one of feeds, and they still annoy me. But because they were given a power, they get to move up ahead of the Three Stooges. It's McKenzie. She sucks. I put it in my notes in the preseason that she's not fucking winning this game. She's just not. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care how far she makes it. She is not winning the game. The archetype of somebody who is super young, super conventionally attractive, and just wants to have a showmance the entire time. When has that person ever won? Ever. Exactly. That's my point. It's just not a thing. She's not winning. I promise you she's not winning. But because of the circumstances and the situation, she's basically given 4 weeks of implicit immunity because of America's veto. And then maybe she survives a round or two after that. But she just doesn't have the numbers. She doesn't have the capital. And I don't think she's that good of a player. It's a losing combination for her. I'm over it. Number 11 is somebody that I said in the preseason I was either going to love or hate. I do love her, but unfortunately I don't see winning in her future, and that is Leah. Oh boy, Leah. One, she's a complete mood. I love her vibe. I love her energy. I want nothing but success for her. That is where I'm at. But seeing her play the game, she's not very good. She just aligned with the wrong people and kind of stuck her heels in instead of being a little mobile. And I guess now she's trying to backtrack that, but I think the fact that she's flirting with a lot of people too isn't going to help her game. And I just have the feeling she's going to go out a lot earlier than we think she is. In a week where she won't be the target, she's going to be the scapegoat. Someone's going to win the veto. That's very unfortunate. And Leah is going to be the casualty because that's the position she's put herself in. She's never going to be a main target for at least a while, but she'll be a secondary target. And if something goes wrong, the secondary target is going home, and that's where Leah's at. And I just don't know if she has it in her to change her position. So I love her, but I just don't see it. I might be shocking some people here with my number 10, but I have Joseph Rodriguez here. Now, for one, I think he is one of the most knowledgeable players in the house, which goes a long way. Two, I think he is one of the more active players in the house, which goes a long way. Both of those are very good things. But there's a part of me in my brain that just tells me that Joseph is going to flame out. I think he's way too messy. I think he wants good TV. And that's great for me. So I would love Joseph in the house for a long time. But when it comes to winning the game, I just don't think Joseph has that combination in him. There are so many players who already have much stronger connections with other people than he does. And even if he can survive the pre-jury, which I think he will, if the wrong person wins HOH at some point during the mid-game, Joseph is toast. There's a lot of good there with Joseph, but there's also a lot of bad, and I think more bad than any other player I'm going to be talking about moving forward, which puts him all the way down here at number 10. And also Danielle Reyes, said kind of the same thing on Twitter, and who am I to deny Danielle Reyes of any Big Brother knowledge because she's mother, so yeah. My number 9 is somebody I love, but I love a lot of this cast, so I can't exactly use that as justification for anything, but I have Kimo here. Kimo's great, he's obviously a super fan, he has the mind for the game, but I think he's too passive, and while in recent days he's done a really good job at getting himself integrated, and I think he's in here for the long haul after being nominated week 1, but again, kind of like Joseph, I don't know if there's a winning recipe there for Kimo. If Kimo makes it far into the game, will he have the alliances? Will he have the connections to actually win the game? Because you need a lot more than just people liking you. You need those game relationships. And he may have game relationships with Quinn or with T-Core. There's a lot more people than just Quinn and T-Core, and those two people might not be in power the entire season. So Kimo needs those options to expand, and then I can consider him a big winner contender, but for now, he's just going to land here at about the midway point. Let's cut to the chase and talk about Cedric at my number 8. Yeah, Cedric may positionally be in one of the best spots in the house, and people may be thinking I'm rating him too low by having him here. But come on, he's 21 years old and he acts like he's 21 years old. And this is coming from somebody who is also 21 years old. So I'm not judging Cedric, but I'm saying in a house where everyone is older than 21 years old, it's just not going to hit the same. So Cedric could easily make it to the end and still lose because of that age difference and because he didn't connect with these people on that personal of a level. And also, I think his knowledge of the game is really getting to him, and it's going to bite him in the ass. Like, he comes across as somebody who has studied Big Brother but doesn't actively know the lore of Big Brother, and that's working against him in the worst way in both scenarios, because people think he's lying about his knowledge of Big Brother when he actively doesn't know, like, the basics of Big Brother. But because he studied the in-depth knowledge of things, he can talk about these in-depth knowledge of things, and people are like sketched out by him, which is why somebody like Quinn is gunning after him hard. Everything is going to catch up to Cedric eventually, and of that core 3 of Chelsea, Cam, and Cedric is clearly the person who would go home first of those 3, and I feel pretty confident about that. So yeah, I don't see Cedric winning. He'll be at number 8. Number 7 is somebody who was my winner pick in the preseason, but eventually dropped off of my winner pick and has fallen down to number 7 here, and that's Rubina. Rubina in the preseason seemed awesome. I think she's great, and I still think she's great, but in the game and on the show, she's non-existent. I think she's really well connected socially, but the alliances just aren't there. And while, yeah, Rubina's not going home for a long time in this game, I can promise you that. Is Rubina really winning this game? I have no idea. I'm gonna lean no, that's why she's at number 7 and not any higher, but yeah, she's just not active enough socially. And yeah, she has some good days, and like I said, she's not going home, but I don't think she's winning either, so she's kind of a meh to me. Number 6, we got fucking Tucker, man. Tucker is a weird one. In the preseason, everybody was so high on him, and I just thought something was off with Tucker. It was too good. It was too perfect. And in the house, I'm kind of feeling the same thing, where I think he's good, connected socially. I think he's really funny at times. Sometimes he's a little icky, but, you know, whatever. But just overall, I think he's in it for the long haul, but I think he's weird. I don't know. I don't think his connections are good enough to the point where nobody will target him the entire game. He's gonna get targeted, and I guess I just have to see what he looks like when facing adversity. And I have a sneaking suspicion it's not very good, considering how he's acting when he's on top. So, you know, that's not great. There's just some red flags that are popping up with Tucker to where, yes, I could very easily see Tucker winning the game, and I think this is the first person I could genuinely see winning Big Brother 26, but he's definitely the lowest of that bunch, and I don't think it's particularly close. And also his accent is a little odd to me. I'm just saying. It's weird. He mumbles. He just does. Number 5 is arguably the best positioned player in the house and the most capable player in the house, but also one of the messier players in the house, and that is Quinn. Yes, I love Quinn. I want Quinn to do so well. And Quinn winning this season would do so many great things for my heart. I really want it. But I see a lot of red flags with Quinn's game as well. He can have such good moments in the game where I'm like, holy shit, Quinn is running this game. And then the same day, the same night, He'll have some terrible moments. He really is a super fan, because that is about as super fan as it gets, where he's capable, he has the mind for the game, but then he just goes above and beyond one too many times, and he looks stupid because of it. He's gonna get exposed for his power, and while yes, that's going to keep him safe for a while, and yes, Quinn is like almost a lock to make the jury, I don't know. Quinn is gonna have some troubles with the mid game. Hopefully he can get past it, because I think if Quinn is at the end game, there's a lot of potential there for Quinn to win this fucking game. But I'm very scared for that moment when his power runs out and he has to fully rely on his allies. And hopefully by that point he hasn't burned enough bridges to become a big target for half the house. But that's a very real possibility. And because of that, I can't have Quinn as my winner pick, even though I would love to. I gotta be realistic. Quinn will land at number 5. I'll be real, I don't really like my number 4 person, but I can't deny the spot they're in, the longevity they have in the game, and the very real possibility that they could be the winner of the season. That is Brooklyn. And yes, I know in the preseason, Brooklyn was like, or is friends with Aaron from BB15, you know, the like crazy racist girl. Yeah, her. So, you know, that's not ideal. And all she really talks about is that she's a mom, so that's also not ideal. But damn, she's well positioned in this fucking game. However, I don't think any of that is really to her own doing. Like, what alliances has she made? Not many. She's just kind of been thrown into them, which is fine and can work for you in the early game, and actually is like one of the better positions to be in the early game. But at some point, you gotta get your people and know who your people are. And I don't know who Brooklyn's people are. Like, sure, she's good with everybody, but at some point, people are going to realize that, and they're going to try and strike when they can. So the big question for Brooklyn is where she's going to, like, stamp her mark on, who she's going to align with, and where she's going in this game. Because you can't just float forever, Brooklyn. You can't. I really hope she doesn't win, if I'm being real, but she very well could. So yeah, she's 4. Another person I don't necessarily like, but yeah, they're in a good position. Chelsea is at 3. Fine, I guess. She's like one of the most, if not the most well-connected person in the house. I can't deny it. It's just what it is. Obviously, winning this week 2 HOH had the potential for her to set herself up really fucking well, considering in the last week with the core, with Chelsea, Cam, and Cedric, they were running shit, and she could have doubled down on that. But I think she's kind of played this pretty poorly here. Like, yeah, she's playing it safe and not, like, becoming a big target, which is good, but I don't think she's actively helping her game. And if anything, she's losing allies from doing this. Especially Cam, which is a big part of this and a big reason why I have her down at 3 and not potentially at 1 when she very easily could. I think she's a good player. I think she is a very big contender that can easily win this game. But from the little moments I've seen from her, there are some doubts there. There's some red flags that I don't trust as much as I trust the top 2 picks I have, and that is leaving her down at number 3 instead of higher. My number 2, the top 2, I obviously have T-Core and Cam. One of them is, I guess, my winner pick after knowing this for a while. But at number 2, I have the person that I don't think has been as active in the game, and that will be T-Core. But damn it, I'm so happy that I had T-Core at number 2 in my preseason. I had T-Core at number 2 after the premieres, and I still have T-Core at number 2 coming here. I never doubted her for a second, goddammit. T-Core is great. She's positioned well with everybody. She is in the Brooklyn position, but better because she actually is active at points. She actively makes these very tight bonds, whereas Brooklyn is just kind of a number for a lot of people. T-Core is essential for a lot of people. T-Core had a bit of a rough spot in week 1 where I feel like she could have been pretty expendable, but as she's gotten her claws into these people, she's fucking done it. She's in. She's locked in for a long time in this game, and I truly do believe that. And if T-Core's at the end game, I don't think I'm betting against her compared to anybody else on this cast to win this game. The only issue is that there is a chance, there is potential in that mid to late game where she could get taken out depending on what goes on around her. I don't know if she's going to actively win a bunch of competitions to solidify herself in the game. So she needs the right allies at the right time, and she cannot lose people at the wrong time either. That is a big part of Big Brother. You have to cut people at the exact right time in order to win this game, unless you're fucking Jag, in which you can do whatever the fuck you want because you can just win every competition. but T-Core is not Jag. So that is the only hesitancy I have, is because T-Core needs a lot of things to go her way in the luck department, where I feel like my number one, due to some previous Big Brother experiences, doesn't necessarily need that, which leaves her at number 2. And at number 1, it's Cam. Has Cam done anything to actively be at number 1? Not really. Just kind of exist, be the likable dude. Honestly, a little tea, after the premiere, I put Matt as my number 1 winner pick, and I felt really confident about that because I thought Matt was just naturally going to get along, get put in these big alliances with people, and then just skate to the end and win the competitions. Turns out I was completely wrong about Matt, and this is what Cam was doing the whole time. That is the big, strong guy I was looking for. So yeah, Cam's going to be at number 1 because of basically what I just described. He's already being put into so many alliances. He's seen as a big threat, but so many people want him on their side because they want him to win the competitions for them that he doesn't have to do anything. Everyone is coming to him to bring him into the alliances. He's in the core with Chelsea and Cedric, and even though Chelsea is low-key against him at this point, I think Cam's going to have the numbers to back him up if anything were to happen, and Chelsea can't really do anything about it. So if that rivalry comes to roost, Cam's going to come out on top, and then of course Cam is a big strong dude, and as we know, a Big Brother, competitions are a big factor, and if he makes it to the end game without winning too many competitions, without being too much of a threat, he can wipe the floor with people at the end, and then become the winner of Big Brother because he's Cam. I genuinely think the only thing that could stop him is if him and Leah get into a showmance, because then they're going to get targeted. But if Leah goes before him, that only helps him even more, but he could also go. So you know what, Cam, just don't hook up with Leah and you'll be good. And that is officially, I guess, my winner pick for Big Brother 26. It wasn't the flashy pick. It wasn't the pick that makes everyone go wow or like or dislike or comment about this video. Nobody really cares. I'm just being a little realistic here. Cam's probably fucking winning this season. However, I am fairly confident that even with just 1.5 weeks of feeds, I think one of my top people are winning this season. That's kind of what I see happening here. I don't see anybody at the bottom turning this around and winning the game. It would be crazy if they did. Just don't see it happening. But that's a video. That's going to do it for me. Sorry for no uploads basically since the season started, since my twist video. That was a big video that took a long time to research and make, so I kind of fell behind a little bit on my schedule. But I'm picking myself up now, making this BB26 video. Plenty more Big Brother videos to come, so please stay tuned if you're a Big Brother fan. I promise you, you won't be disappointed. I got some really unique ideas that I really am excited to share with you guys, so again, like and subscribe if you enjoy this type of content and you want to follow me for my reality TV journey. Plenty of videos coming. The second half of this year is going to be insane when it comes to content because a lot is going on. Still have more Traders videos coming. Still have some Survivor videos coming once we get more into that season. And anything in between I feel like talking about. That'll do it for me. If you made it to the end of the video, I love ya. Platonically, of course. And I will undoubtedly see ya when I see ya. Bye-bye.